I just watched the first episode of Netflix's new show Hellbound, and while it was only up on screen for 4 seconds, I loved the title. And you're watching this video, so I'm guessing you did too. It's quite simple to put together, but there are a few out of the ordinary steps. First off, we need the title in Korean. I just jumped to Google Translate and popped in the word shiver. I avoided shivering because that translated to flutter or flap. And you can copy these letters from Translate, but if you paste them into After Effects directly, then the Western fonts can't display them. So switch to Adobe CC and click on Manage Fonts, and then click on Browse More Fonts. In the search in the top right, search for Korea, and then just pick a font that looks right for you and activate it. It will install automatically. We're also going to need a stone texture, so head over to pexels.com, which is an awesome royalty-free image and stock video website. This is my favourite website at the moment. There's tons of usable free content on here. Just search for stone or granite and pick an image. And lastly, if you haven't installed Video Copilot's free Saber plugin, then do that. Links for all these sites are in the description. And now let's jump into After Effects. Here's my comp, it's HD and 5 seconds long. With the Google translation still in your clipboard, go ahead and use the text tool and paste the letters in. Set the font to your chosen Korean font. And make the text big, like 450 pixels big. And center it. I also reduced the width a little by dropping the horizontal scale down to 75%. And now drag our texture into the comp underneath the text layer and set its transfer mode to alpha matte. And scale and position the texture until it is a size you like. And then go to Effect, Color Correction, Hue Saturation. Drag the saturation right down to 0 to make the image black and white, and maybe darken it a little by reducing the lightness. Now from the project panel, take our comp and drag it into the new comp icon to make a new comp with this comp nested inside it. And then go to Effect, Stylize, Glow. Set the glow based on to alpha channel so we get this outline look. Set the intensity to 4 and set the A and B colours to a light blue and a richer blue. These are the hex codes I used. Next, let's recreate the English text. It's much the same process. Using the text tool, type in the word you want. I chose the font Cambria Math and set the size to 90, but I set the tracking value as big as it would go, 1000, and made it bold and all caps. And now, right-click on the text layer and choose Precompose. And now we'll add in the texture as before, setting it underneath and with alpha matte set. Add the hue saturation effect again and make it grayscale. But don't darken it as much, maybe only -25. Back in the main comp, select the glow effect on the big text, Ctrl C to copy it, then select the small text and Ctrl and V to paste the effect on. Drop the glow amount to 2.5, and to help this text stand out, darken color A. This is the hex code I used. Okay, that's the look done. Now we just need to animate it. The larger text appears as fire, which then appears to burn out to the glowy blue look. And we're going to use a really cool technique here, but it does mean that if you change the Korean word, you have to repeat this step each time. Go into the big text comp and select the text layer. And then go to Layer, Create Masks from Text. A brand new solid appears, which if I hit M reveals that its shape is created from masks. Copy this layer from this comp, turning it off, and then paste it into the main comp, above the big text but below the small text. Now go to Effect, Video Copilot, Saber. Expand Customize Core and set the core type to Layer Masks. Then in the preset dropdown, choose Fire. And in Render Settings, choose Core Glow. Now here's the thing, I wanted to show off this create mask technique, but I could have linked the text layer's source text value to the original, then applied Saber to a separate solid, selecting this text layer. That would have given me the ability to change the text. At 0 seconds, set the start size to 0%. Then set the end size to 0% and set a keyframe for this property. At about 20 frames, set keyframes for the glow intensity and core size to their default values. At the 1 second mark, set the end size to 100%. And just after 2 seconds in the timeline, so 1 second later, set the glow intensity and core size to 0%. But I think the fire fades out weirdly, so scrub back a little and set the core size to about 10%. Set the layer to add, and you're done with the fire. Select the big text comp and tap the T key to expose the opacity property. Set a keyframe for 0% at around the same time you set the default glow intensity value in Saber. Then, about a second later, set it to 100%, so it fades up as the fire dies. And to fade out, go to Effect, Matte, Simple Choker. We're going to recreate that bleed out look. A second or so from the end of the comp, set a keyframe for Choke Matte. And at the end of the comp, drag this value up as far as it will go. And then drag the effect above the glow effect so we keep the bright edges. Turn the small text layer back on and add the simple choker effect. Set keyframes for the same times, but we don't need to go up to 100 for this as the text is much smaller. So we get a differential fade. Go to 1.5 seconds on the timeline and set another keyframe. And then go back to 1 second and set a new keyframe so that this text bleeds in. And finally, make the small text layer 3D and set position keyframes on the Z axis so that it slowly grows larger in the frame over the entire duration. And you're done! Now, the main VFX feature of Hellbound are those black scary demons. Don't tell me what they are, I've not watched the rest of the series yet. If you want to know if it's possible to do those in After Effects, check out this video, which shows you how to use free 3D characters from Mixamo, convert them in Blender, and then animate them in VC Element.